Hello, I'm doing the asking Pinterest what to draw trend. When I first saw this trend, I knew that I wanted to do it because it looked really fun, but then I saw SamDesArts make a video on it and that really gave me the motivation. So I'm doing it. Alright, the first thing that I searched for was for a character, and I only realized this when I was editing this, but the first search history on the screen here was Chainsaw Man manga, and I think that might have skewed the results. So also, if you look here, the first picture is not Reese. And before you get mad at me and say like, wait, you didn't draw the first thing you saw, that was an advertisement and I do not want to draw ads. So logically I go to the next one, and that is Reese, and that is the character that I went with. The next thing that I searched for was for a pose. The first result that I got was an ad. Again, like why? So again, I went with the second one. Honestly, I was a little bit disappointed with this pose because I feel like it's kind of static, but it's okay. The next thing that I searched for was for an outfit, and can you believe it? The first two results were ads. Like, dude, why are there so many ads? My Pinterest doesn't usually get ads. I think it's because I was on my iPad. But yeah, that was annoying. So I went with the third result with this, and it's the one with the blue dress. I think it works for Reese. I mean, she'll look good in anything. Now, the next thing was for an object because I didn't really know what else to search, and I got this stopwatch thing. And you know, the funny thing is, I saw that there were a lot of comments from other people that were also doing the challenge, and they got the same thing, and that was really cool to see. Like, wow, so many other people are doing this and it's fun. Now the next thing that I searched was for a fruit, and the first thing that popped up were these cherries, and I was like, oh nice, but then I realized that it was not a real picture, it was somebody else's artwork, so I thought I probably should use something different. So I searched for a fruit reference instead, but in retrospect I could have just went with the second picture like I did in all the previous times, but I don't know why that didn't come to my mind. But in the end, it doesn't matter because I still got blueberries anyways. And then I saw other people that were doing this trend search for doodles, so I decided to search for doodles as well. And I got this star thing, and honestly, I thought that was really fitting because, you know, Reese is from Chainsaw Man, and for some of the characters, their eyes have like this spiral thing. And finally, I also searched for a flower because I wanted to have a flower in it, and I got this light purple flower, which again is very fitting because number one, it's purple, and number two, it also had like tiny spirals near the middle. And here is the overview of the board that I created for this. I was really happy with it, except with the stopwatch. I feel like it didn't really match the vibes of the other stuff, but we'll see what we can do. So this is the whole time lapse of my drawing process. As you can see in the background, I put a picture of a sketch that I did on paper because I just find it to be easier to have something to trace over when I'm drawing digitally. Because for some reason, I think it's because I don't draw digitally that much except for like my YouTube thumbnails, but I find an empty digital canvas to be a lot more intimidating than a blank paper. So yeah, I decided to do a sketch on paper first. And here I'm drawing the hair, and it's really stationary right now, but then after that I decide to change it because the pose is already like so static. I feel like I wanted a little bit of movement. Oh, and also I ended up cutting off her legs because I wanted the canvas size to be the right size for a YouTube video. And if I drew like the full body, then there would just be too much empty space at the sides. Like the scale just wouldn't be nice, I think. And also, I didn't like the way that I drew her eyes here. I feel like the way I drew her eyes made her look really soft. I don't really know how to explain it, but in the movie, I feel like her eyes made her look more playful and calculating. Something about the way that they drew the eyes in the movie was so mesmerizing. Like, it was so beautiful. And you'll see later that I try to change the eyes. Personally, I feel like when I'm drawing people specifically, the most important part to me is the eyes, and I guess like the face in general if it's visible, because that is the place that I look at first when I'm looking at an illustration of a person. And I guess the second thing is the hair. Like, that's the second thing that I prioritize the most, which is also why you'll find that I spent the most time on the line art for the hair and the eyes. Anyways, I'm just yapping. I feel like I'm making myself sound like a pro, but I promise I'm not. I'm like, it's just a hobby. I like talking about drawing. So yeah, here I fixed up the eyes and the eyebrows. Yeah, they looked really weird before. And I decided to keep her mouth closed instead of open. I don't know, it just looks better, I think. Also, I couldn't really decide whether I wanted to keep her iris like dark, like just like the black dot, or if I wanted to add a glint to it, like how it looks right now with it being white in the middle. I feel like it looks good either way, but every single time I draw eyes, my favorite part when I'm coloring is adding the glint to it, so I think I decided to keep it in the very end. Also, I was honestly pretty surprised with myself drawing and coloring these blueberries, or maybe I should say rendering. Like, the pros say rendering. Yeah, I'm gonna say rendering. By the way, if you didn't know, I think rendering means the same thing as coloring. Yeah, anyways, I was saying, like, I was pretty surprised with how the blueberries turned out. I feel like they look pretty decent. And I never draw things other than people because I like drawing people. So honestly, I think that's pretty good for me. Oh yeah, and this flower was my least favorite one. I think it turned out looking the worst. It just looks bad. Oh, and this star spiral, that turned out to be a lot more difficult than I anticipated. It was just really hard to draw it without it looking off. And I decided to make a really big star and place it behind her head, like you just saw a second ago, because, how should I explain this? Because the way Reese looks is like the anime style, and then everything else around her is in a more realistic style. Sorry, let me just pause for a second, because I need to yap. The focal point of this artwork is supposed to be Reese. Like the first thing you look at when you look at this piece of artwork is it has to be Reese. And if it's not Reese, that means that I failed. So if you've made it this far, you should tell me, like, when you close your eyes and you open your eyes, is the first thing that you're looking at Reese's face? I hope that's a yes, because otherwise, then I failed. But anyways, I felt like the rest of the mumbo jumbo around her were taking attention away from her, so I felt that having the star and the spirals right behind her head would draw the attention back to her. You get what I'm saying? Okay, I'm just gonna continue playing this now. Sorry for yapping. And there was a bunch of empty space still, so I just filled it up with a bunch of other random stuff. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and good luck with everything.